Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Our topic today is a new age CMS for technical marketing teams. My name is Ravish Kamath, VP of Products at Share Demos. Before we begin, let's run through some of the logistics for the webinar today. All attendees are in listen-only mode. This webinar is about 25 minutes long. We will email you a copy of the webinar slides or recording once this webinar is complete. If you do have any questions, please do feel free to send them to me. My email is listed towards the end of the webinar, and you should be able to use the same to reach out to me. Okay, with that, we'll get started on today's webinar topic, which is around a new age CMS for technical marketing teams. So before we begin, let's just define the term. What does technical marketing mean? It's a classical form of classical method of marketing, but with the primary focus on key features and specifications of our product. So largely we are referring to products that are technical in nature, which have some complexities. They could be virtualization products, storage products, products that have a lot of technical features to them. And a technical marketing function, the role of this function is to really be the bridge between the marketing and the engineering knowledge. So what they'll end up doing is they'll end up producing a lot of technical collateral in the form of videos, walkthroughs, deep dives, guides, data sheets, and other forms of technical collateral that some of you may be already familiar with. So one of the key things is ultimately this function is responsible for the technical enablement of folks who are in the field organization of their own companies, their customers, and their partners. So some quick stats on why there is a need, or what's the overall pain in the space of enablement. One of the stats that I'd like to draw your attention to is around the time spent creating, which is on an average a lot of teams take about 1 quarter to create and publish content collaterals, with the majority of the pain point being across creating, which requires probably new systems or processes, B, being able to push them on existing mediums for consumption. All of these generally take a really long time. And the field reps, partners, the customers spend about 65% of their time trying to find the relevant content, and they are unable to find some of these content in most of the cases. So going on, what we are proposing as a part of this webinar is yet another CMS, and the key question is why? One of the things that we strongly believe in is that technical content is not just about blogs and articles. There are many other formats that technical marketing teams over the years have found that are perhaps best suited to communicate their product features. Now, these could be step-by-step walkthroughs. These could be guides. These could be specifications. These could be interactive infographics. These could be data sheets. These could be demos. All of these. So there is a need for a system that can actually perhaps treat all of this content as native content types, rather than having technical marketing teams try to make these all by using a assembly of tools. One of the other parts of the CMS is the big bang content versus agile content. We have anecdotally seen evidences of people using a really large PDF, sometimes in the range of 500 to 600 pages, and trying to understand or measure the success of such a large PDF. Sure, number of downloads is one success factor, but do you know how much of that content has someone read? Do you know how long they spent reading it? Do you know what sections they searched for? Just being able to parse out or break out a content into a 500-page PDF goes into maybe 20 or 30 assets or 20 or 30 bite-sized chapters, And being able to actually track traction at that bite-sized content level is of immense value. So again, a CMS that understands bite-sized content and also therefore allows you to publish things faster to the internet goes a long way. Data, we all know the importance of data in this time and age. If you had access to what features were actually trending, again, historically, we've seen some evidence where people always thought that feature X was more important than feature Y, but market data based on just views, completion rates, and all of that could potentially show that feature Y is more important. Again, view data into completion rates, view times, what geo trends, all these actually help go a long way in building out the right set of content. The last piece is trying to build all enablement apps. Traditionally, we've seen technical marketing teams go spend a bunch of money trying to build apps which are one-off, which live for an event, and they kind of disappear. Enablement apps are actually new and better ways for your users and customers to actually interact with your content and get the information that they're looking for. So they need to have a long lifetime that is a little longer than just a single event. So once again, a CMS that treats these apps as native citizens rather than customizations will go a long way in your technical market, helping you in your technical enablement journey. So let's now go on and just take a look at a quick schematic. Here you have your content, your bite-sized content at the center of the universe, and here are the set of apps that are all around your content. You'll see that there are various types of content. So you can take the same amount of content if you architect them in bite-sized manner, and you can consume them in demos and flashcards and as a part of an RFP generator or a pathfinder or a how-to and so on and so forth. And the key here is that the users consume your end formats, but the end formats are all created based on a lot of bite-sized content that you have actually authored within your CMS. So what are some of the features of a technical marketing CMS solution? We believe that there are 6 key parts to this solution. And so let's go through each one of them one by one. Support for technical content. And again, we've talked about this where, technical marketing teams need multiple styles of storytelling. These could be videos, images, audio, voiceovers, formatted HTML, tabular data. These are just formats that we're talking about. We'll come to the larger story going forward. Being able to enable your content instantly across web, mobile, and kiosk. Now, kiosk is a new term that we've injected here. Generally, you will see everybody talk about web and mobile, but we added kiosks as well because technical marketing teams produce a lot of content that actually also which are also targeted for events. Now, being able to have a CMS that is also capable of producing content that is also targeted towards kiosks, so that you don't have to do something special around a specific event, also goes a long way in being a critical component of a CMS solution. Lead generation support, which is kind of a given. It's almost like a seat at the table kind of a conversation. Go offline or download capability, knowing that users generally have preferences on how they want to consume content. A lot of users want to actually export it into different formats, or in case if some of you have been part of events, you know that internet connection can be often spotty at these events, and being able to have offline capability where you can actually demonstrate your product or access a data sheet of your product instantly right there from your browser without having to worry about your internet connection is a priceless feature. Structuring content, which we understand that there are many narratives within a company. There are many views of how people perceive the content, whether it is a learning content, whether it's evaluation content, whether it's field content. So there are many ways in which content is viewed within an organization, and being able to having a system or a CMS solution that allows you to structure content by persona, use case, verticals, or even your in-house taxonomy can can also strengthen your CMS solution. The last piece, the most critical piece, is trying to get some intel on the content and users, like we talked about in the previous screen, which is knowing what your users are doing, knowing what content is being consumed will help, uh, you know, give you the data so that you can actually take the right decisions. So we'll come to the first piece, which is the support for technical content. Like we've always been saying throughout this demo, which is technical content as first-class citizens, right? So do not treat how-tos as almost like a blog post, right? So many often time we've seen blog posts that have a lot of text, linearly placed with screenshots, and as they decide that they need to curtail the length of the blog post, the screenshots become a lot more contextual, which means they're cropped. They are just the button that they want the user to click. But in the vastness of your user experience, if you want the user to pick the button where exactly it was, you're actually challenging the user. So trying to build how-tos as a native format, trying to give users a complete slide experience, being able to build demos in its, almost a live sandbox format, creating guides that are interactive and HTML ready and search engine friendly, creating checklists out of the box without having to build apps, custom apps, things like that, trying to treat technical content as what they are, which is they are the first-class citizens of such a solution, allow technical marketing teams to execute and deliver the content a lot faster than, let's say, if they were using a WordPress or some other systems, because sure, they can create the content, but it's always about using the format that was there within those systems to actually deliver the information, or building a customization, or building an extension, or building a plugin. Right. So the key here is to understand that technical content also needs to be treated as a format within the CMS solution, thereby allowing your teams to be really agile and create content fast, in a faster manner. We talked about multiple formats previously, which is, trying to bring a medley of videos, images, audios, and formatted HTML or rich text to create different types of assets and content. And the last piece is, of course, being able to create bite-sized content. And the key to create, the minute you create bite-sized content, you'll figure out that you have a greater ability to reuse content, and you also have created content. In case you have created public-facing content, you'll find that search engines will love you even more since you've created bite-sized content. The second piece we're talking about is web, mobile, and kiosk enable, which is provide your users with a new interactive medium, present content on the web in a very interactive way. Technical content is kind of boring by default, presenting them in an interactive way, which is, encouraging users to actually click through, giving them active guides or guidance through the screens, letting them know where they need to click on, or being able to provide a contextual information when they are visiting a specific part of the documentation, all go a long way in actually improving the end user's experience of your technical content. A mobile responsive site, again, very important in today's age, that we actually support the content is actually responsive and people can actually consume this content across all device and form factors. And we talked a little bit about this in previously, which is the event readiness in general, which is being able to present the same content. So if you see, one of the themes we are picking on is that web, mobile, and kiosk, right? We are trying to say everything is internet enabled, and at the same time, you can go offline as well. Imagine the power of such a system where it's still a single source of truth, because it's the same system that can actually power your apps, can power your content, and can also power your content in an event, in case of an event. So moving on to the next piece, which is the lead generation support. No marketing function is complete without, no marketing solution is complete without lead generation support. Uh, Once you've done all the hard work of getting your traffic to your site, whether it is through SEO because the site's been doing great organically, or you're running paid campaigns to it, being able to collect leads from the site is of uh, critical importance. So, being able to configure lead generation forms, which are at different points of the funnel, which is either before collateral is accessed, or in between the collateral being consumed, or towards the end of a collateral, is quite important. Being able to understand the lead behavior, which is what did the prospect do, what all content they consumed, and being able to send this rich profile data to a CRM of your choice, whether it's Eloqua or a Salesforce or a marketer, and having an enriched lead profile. Imagine you're looking at your opportunity view and you see this lead and you actually can see that he or she has consumed, let's say, about 4 bite-sized pieces of content. And if you knew that one was a demo of feature X, one was some sort of a data sheet on another product line, and also knowing information that here are the other 2 pieces of content that the users consume. Now imagine a sales rep who has so much information at his fingertips that they can actually build a profile of this lead a lot better. Again, we talked about this in some form or shape previously, so I'm just going to skip this and go on to the next slide. Structured and accessible content is another piece, which is support for hierarchies. Technical content often demands some sort of nesting because content ideally needs to be organized in some sort of hierarchies. We inherently think in the form of a tree. We like to organize our content in logical groups. So again, a CMS that supports hierarchies out of the box is really powerful. Next comes some sort of a search mechanism, which is fast streaming, instant search, ability to stream results instantaneously as the user is typing the keywords, or systems that handle typos by default and actually can return results even as the user makes typos. And maybe the future of this is all voice enabled too. So maybe having a voice UX to your overall CMS from an end user perspective is also quite critical in terms of accessing the content. Then we talked about navigational aids. There are many systems that are coming out now, knowing that there are more than one way. There's more than one way that users can reach their content. Traditionally, we've used tagging, but there has been a little more decision trees or question trees, personas, use case, industry-based navigation, many such ways that content can be navigated through. Coming on to content and user intel, trying to understand a system. Traditionally, we have used to embedding Google Analytics code on a system and understanding content at a little more generic level. But what if the system actually understood data at a much more lower level? Being able to just understand not just number of visits or views, but completion rate and true completion rate, because it's just not based on a set of events that the system is emitting, but we actually tracked user behavior. Being able to measure return visitor rate as a measure of content freshness. Being able to measure what's trending and what's not, and also be able to use this as a feedback mechanism back to the marketing teams or the product teams as to certain features are being in demand. All of this information, along with user behavior, understanding where they dropped off, what have they read, and all this information can help you actually understand your market, your space, and your users much better. While that was the 6 aspects that we kind of took a deep dive on, there are some other aspects or considerations that also go into a technical marketing solution. One around rapid authoring, being able to create content with ease. Having an interface that allows you to create content with ease goes a long way in adoption within the technical marketing organization. Features that allow collaboration, whether it's through activity streams or allowing multiple people to work on the same document together, also will help adoption. Managing access controls, which is whether it is end user access controls as to who has access to the content, or even access controls at the level of content creation, also help along. And the last piece is, of course, we're seeing a little bit of emergence of this, which is content management systems that have API access, which means at the end of the day, if the systems are able to expose the content that you've created, organized as some sort of an API, thereby allowing you to build an app that is, in case you need to actually access app and get content from these systems, these also go a long way in your decision for a CMS for a technical marketing team. So with that, we come to the end of the webinar today. So like I said, my name is Ravish Kamath, and I'm the VP of Product at ShareDemos. So ShareDemos is a platform that is aimed at helping you in your enablement journey. We have specifically a CMS solution that is targeted towards technical marketing teams. So I would encourage you to go ahead and sign up for a free trial on www.sharedemos.com. My email address is listed here. So in case you do have any questions, please do feel free to reach out to me. And with that, I'd like to say goodbye and thank you for joining today's webinar.